Welcome back to Show Me What I've Been Missing, your pop culture podcast that goes, hey, remember that thing? I'm one of your hosts, Elizabeth Stanton, and with me is my other host,
Chris Mack. What's up, everybody?
We are working our way through Sex and the City because Chris has never seen a single episode, and I've seen them all way too many times.
Well, I've seen more single episodes.
Yeah, sorry. Well, you've not
a few singles.
Gotten the whole experience.
Right.
But you're in it deep now. You know, we're just over halfway through the show. There's 6 seasons of the show.
Right, yeah, because we still got this season, then 5th, and then the 6th.
Yeah, but we're on season 4. We just kicked off season 4, episode 1 of season 4. But we're making progress. We're doing great.
Yeah. Yeah.
And this one is the agony and the ecstasy.
We will be done with this series by the end of the year if we don't take like another 4-month break.
That's true. If we keep chugging along, yeah.
If we take like another 4-month break, hey guys, see you in 2023.
We didn't take that long a break though over Christmas. We did take a longer one from when we started to when we restarted. And then we took like I think a quickie summer one.
Yeah.
Which is okay because I think we just needed it, and then obviously took a holiday break over winter.
Sure,
but yeah, we're cruising along.
We're cruising. I can say like if we can if we don't take like a 3-month break, we can do it.
Oh yeah,
we're still gonna take our summer break. We just gotta take a month off in summer. Like,
we're not gonna take 3 months.
We need vacation too. Like listen, we ain't getting paid enough to do this year round. Okay,
no, we are not.
But if you guys start liking and subscribing, you know what I'm saying, maybe we could, and then we'll give you a full year for sure. Maybe.
Yeah. No questions asked.
You know what I'm saying? You get our subscribers up, we start making some love, we start giving out better content, it just rolls all together. Just saying. I'm not begging, I'm just to put it out there. Just
quid pro quo, Clarice.
I'm just doing a little math here, you know what I'm saying? You just put it together.
Oh, this is my worst Hannibal Lecter. Quid pro quo. Yeah, I can't do it.
Yeah, all those things.
Quid pro Clarice. Anyway, we're talking about the show. There we go. Let's talk about the show.
We are season 4, episode 1. The agony and the ecstasy.
Yes.
As in ex-person,
partner, not the drug.
Yeah.
Be cool if it was about drugs.
If this whole episode was about them like doing ecstasy at a club, that would be a fantastic episode.
For a hot minute, I thought it was because I know there is another episode where Samantha takes ecstasy at a club. So I thought that was this episode for a second, and then I realized it wasn't.
Just like the 4 of them saying "fuck it" for Carrie's birthday, they just go
just rolling.
Yeah, just do ecstasy in New York all night. That would be
pretty cool.
That'd be a very shocking episode opener or a season opener.
So whom would you like to start with?
Honestly, I feel like they're all together in this episode, right?
For the most part. Everybody's got little side quests.
I guess.
I'd say Carrie, or not Carrie, Samantha and Charlotte have little side bits.
Yeah.
Not so much Miranda. Other than the one scene.
One scene, literally one scene. And Carrie, Carrie has kind of one scene, really her, 2, I guess.
Just start with Samantha's side quest and we'll get to the core group.
Yeah, so this whole episode is about what, Elizabeth? How would you break it down?
Well, part of it's about fantasy.
Okay.
With Samantha anyway. I don't know what, I guess the theme is about soulmates is the overarching.
I feel like that was like the overall it's like loneliness and soulmates, like
finding
connections. Yeah. And so okay, so we're gonna go with I said like it's hard to like really even put it together because they're all kind of all intertwined this whole episode. Okay, you know what? Let's start with Charlotte because I feel like that's the cutest way to start because
I love Charlotte. My little cute dork. I love her so much.
She's back, baby. She's back. Not like as in dating, but she's like back to her old self.
Yeah.
She's like uncomfortable at brunch conversations again, and she's
the Charlotte we know and love. But I love
super judgmental. Back,
because it kicks off. They all go to this friend of theirs engagement party, and I love when she's still wearing her wedding ring, and when she's talking to some lady at the thing, the lady goes, "Oh, it's a beautiful ring. Where's your husband?" She goes, "Oh, he's not here. We're actually, we're separated, but not legally." And it's just you rambling.
Just info bombs as per lady.
Yeah, and then she like overshares, and she's like, "And we had some problems. They were in the bedroom, and just boom, boom, just like the lady's like, kill me, get me out of this conversation. I will chew my arm off."
Telling Trey's business. Come on, Charlotte. You know better than that. You was a wife for 3 months. You don't go out here telling your husband business that he can't get it up.
Yeah.
Come on.
A little uncool. But she's just panicked. And
you're a McDougal now. You can't do that as a McDougal. Well, actually, I guess you can, because the old girl was like, she kissed the fucking gardener. Like,
yeah.
Damn, McDougals do snitch. I take it back. You are McDougal.
Yeah, McDougal snitch hard. Are you kidding? Hard, bro. Sing like a bunch of fucking canaries.
Fucking mockingbirds over here, just yeah.
So, and after the engagement party, because she rambles so much and she realizes she doesn't really know what she and Trey are to each other at the moment.
Yeah.
She like storms over to his apartment and has like a little list of everything. And she's like, "Oh, these are the things that we need to discuss. I made notes about, like, let's talk about what we are and where we stand." And he was like, "Yeah, I don't give a shit. I want to."
Yeah, like, it's like, let's just have sex. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is, I was like, okay, they're gonna, make it work somehow. And then the scene kind of took a left turn
because he gets a boner, and they're like making out like they're kind of on track, like where she's gonna get distracted and say, "Yeah, okay, let's do it."
Right.
But then before they even get that far, he arrives on her clothes.
Yeah.
Prematurely.
He blew his chances, as you could say.
Shot his wad, if you will.
Oh my god! We were trying to clean it up.
Not anymore.
We were trying to elevate the conversation.
Nope.
Damn it. We're talking about Charlotte right now. We are kind, polite, respectable Southern women. All right.
And
he pretty much, he just
like that SNL sketch.
Yeah.
Where like, "I feel soft breeze and I choose."
Well, he must have felt her soft breeze, because my boy was gone. Can you even call that premature? Because
because they weren't actually.
No, I'm just saying it was like sooner than pre-breathing. Like he was like, if I gather maybe what they were trying to imply, but his hands were actually there. He looked like he like touched it, and then that's what made him just like he didn't even touch the outside of it with his penis. Like he just touched it with his hands.
Yeah,
and he was like,
boom,
too much.
Yeah. Blammo, right in her fancy dress.
And if you think about it, it's kind of a compliment, right? Because there was if you think about their previous relationship, he wasn't getting it up. He wasn't even trying to have sex with her. He wasn't even like attracted to her. And now he's so attracted to her, he can't even be inside her.
But as she said, the problem is he only seems to really want her when he can't have her, or when they're like separated like this, and that's not great. So then she's like, "You know what? I'm leaving until I figure out what I want out of this." Because he clearly wants her back.
Yeah, she said he's been calling her and stuff like that.
Yeah, so she's
conversations.
Yeah, she's like, "Don't call me." And then I do love this gag where he's like, "Send me the dry cleaning bill," because they're like, Trey is nothing if not polite, and I'm like, this is why I find Trey so funny. I love him.
Yeah.
And I can't
also adorable. He's like, "Hey, sorry, Trey's on you, but I'll pay for it." Like
he's like a sweet guy. And I can't remember the full, but he said "alrighty" somewhere in their conversation, and I was like, I love hearing an "alrighty."
Yeah, he did. I think it was while they were making out. He was saying, he said "alrighty," yeah.
And I was like, I love a little.
No, because she was like, "Yeah, we have to talk about it." He's like, "Alrighty."
Yeah.
But after we have sex.
I love Trey. He's such a hoot.
So
that's pretty much Charlotte's situation.
Yeah.
And then Samantha, they have a whole thing about like she's talking to a man with no soul at the party, this like obnoxious TV agent guy. But then when she's out with Carrie the next day, they walk by a church and they see a hot priest that she dubs Friar Fuck.
Okay, All right, I'm gonna say something right here.
Yeah.
That it's probably gonna be a little controversial.
Okay.
But and here's the thing: if the roles were reversed and if it was a man doing it to a woman, I would still say the same thing. It's something weird and kind of creepy about hitting on somebody that's like in religion, like being a priest or like being a nun. I was just like, Samantha, chill. Be like, Samantha's my man, pot and pans. You know what I'm saying? Like she's the best woman on it, but it's like that's where I'm like, ugh, what you doing?
Clearly, you've never seen Fleabag.
Well, no, I'm saying like even if it was like a dude trying to hit on
a nun,
I'd be like, yeah, that's like chill, bro. Like that's like I get the reasoning behind it because it's taboo. It's
the forbidden
fruit, you know, and stuff like that. But it's like,
and Samantha's very much the type that's like, I want to make him break those vows. He breaks my back, and then but then she's not gonna stay with him, and then it's like, oh my god, he broke his vows for what?
And that's another thing too. It's like that's the kind of the selfish part of it that I find creepy. It's like, you know, if man hitting on a nun or what, like her hitting on a priest, it's like you only want to have sex with this person because you want to make them like forget their values, like forego their values, just so you can have a little bit of pleasure. And then you're just going to be gone. Like, you're not going to be in a relationship with, you're not going to fall in love or be with them.
And it strokes your ego because you're so amazing that you can get someone to break their vows.
Yeah, exactly. Like, it's like,
it's a little narcissistic. But...
Yeah. That's why I was like, and I didn't like this for Samantha because she's like, it seemed like out of character for her. You know what I mean? Like, they were just like trying to throw a little shock.
I mean, the corny name, Friar Fuck, like, when people criticize the show for being like corny, that's definitely one of the examples they use. But yeah, it did make me laugh because years later we would get Hot Priest on the show Fleabag with Phoebe Waller-Bridge. Have you seen it? Or
I've never heard of the show.
It's really, really good. So like the first season is her kind of improving as a person, but the second season she ends up in love with this priest who loves her back. They are very, very genuinely hot for each other.
Right.
And it's this whole struggle of, you know, can they, will they, won't they? And there is a very like hot, like he's to me, he's not like the hottest guy, but he is very like charismatic and intense and stuff.
Okay.
And there's a scene where she's at the church late at night and they do a whole thing where she's in the confession booth with him and she kind of spills her guts about stuff. And then he just says, kneel. And you're like, oh my God, they're gonna she's gonna maybe give him a thing in the church. And then like, just as they're about to, something falls down in the back of the church. It kind of spooks them both into not doing it.
Okay, now I gotta watch. That's an Amazon joint, right?
Yeah, it's an Amazon.
Okay,
it's
okay. I think I've seen this back a flyer or something.
Yeah, and there's more to it, and it has this it's such a good show, and it's only 2 seasons, and they fly by. Okay. And so because it's a British show, so it's like 6 episodes a pop.
Right.
Yeah, a weekend you're done. You've seen them all, but they're really good. She wrote it all and stuff like that. Oh, and one of the great things is she does all these asides to the camera where she'll be talking and then immediately like turn her head and look right at the camera and make comments and stuff. And one of the things that kind of shows how connected they are is he notices, like it's supposed to be, you know, a break the fourth wall, no one else notices thing.
Yeah.
But then so she's talking to him in the scene, and she looks right at the camera and kind of makes a face, and he turns around and looks at the camera too. Is like, what are you doing? And then she's like, nothing. And then she does it again. He's like, you're doing it again. And it's like, it's so cute, but it's such a great example of like why they click so well. Because he's in theory the only one who notices her doing her thing. And so I just wanted to talk about Fleabag real bad because of this.
Well, I mean, honestly, it's kind of similar to that situation because that was kind of what happens to Samantha. She's like hitting on the priest, and she's like, "Oh, if you ever want me to do anything for the church, I can put on a benefit and blah blah blah."
With Donald Trump and Marlo Thomas. Sorry, no offense to Marlo Thomas. She does a ton of stuff with St. Jude.
This is before we knew. Well, before the world knew that Donald Trump was a piece of shit. He was just like a famous guy that you would want at your party. Yeah.
And turns out he's not even that rich. There, I said it. We all know it's fake.
I mean, he got rich off of being the president. I'll tell you that though.
Yep. But then after the first meeting, Samantha goes home and masturbates for like the whole hiccup. Sorry, I'm so shocked. No, just kidding. I had a hiccup. Masturbates for the whole afternoon. They're having dinner, and the girls are like, "You really did it like all afternoon?" And Samantha's like,
2.5 hours, bro.
2.5, at least 2.5 hours. I'm like, that is
that's a marathon.
A long time.
Woo!
But then I like this discussion, which is always fun. Is who are your fantasy person? Because her argument is it's not bad for her to, because Charlotte has your kind of reaction where it's kind of like disrespectful to you wanting to hit on the priest and stuff like that. But Samantha just insists like it's a fun fantasy thing. It's harmless. I think it is harmless until she goes back to the church and tries to hit on him then.
Yes.
And stuff.
Yeah, she brought it was like
the fancy peas, Le Sueur, I think it is. Le Sueur. And it's like 3 cans.
That's like, dude, it's so funny because it's so Samantha, because that's like literally probably like just like some shit she bought on a fly that's sitting in her cupboard for just months, probably years.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, what's something that I never, oh yeah, these peas. I don't fucking eat peas. I don't even cook. I take these to the guy so I can try to get some dick. Like
yeah. But he doesn't break his vows though. But
no, he does not. But he did take the peas.
He does take the peas.
I was like, my man.
But then I love how time sensitive this bit is. So they're like, who's your fantasy? And Miranda and Carrie both say Russell Crowe. No, thank you. Not for me. Never was for me. Nope.
I thought you liked the Aussies.
I do, but not him.
All right.
No.
I mean, I like the people, but I thought that was like your type, like Ozzy.
In a way.
Tall Aussies. He's tall, right? He's like 5'10".
Yeah, he's like, I think he's like 6 foot.
Or 6
so.
foot? Yeah.
He's taller than that. I could be wrong. No, I've just never liked him. He's never. That's not quite my type.
Okay,
and
fair enough.
I find him annoying in other ways.
Well, what about like because this is like Gladiator time?
Yeah, I know it's Gladiator era. Still no.
Okay, there it is. All right.
And they also say George Clooney, who I do find like attractive. He's not my like number one or anything though.
Sure, no.
But I mean,
at this time, and I feel like even now, I feel like he's still.
Oh yeah, he's still got it going on.
Yeah.
No, my I think as we've established in the show, my number one, number two are Hugh Jackman.
Right.
Who I just saw on Broadway.
Yes.
Boy from Oz, or sorry, not Boy from Oz. I saw that years ago.
Yes.
Saw him in Music Man. Still shook his little tush on stage though. I was very excited. What a great musical.
She didn't see no other song. She just saw the tush.
I was like, they was doing all these dancing, and he turned around, and you know how you do the thing with your feet where you kind of shuffle back and forth. Yeah. He's doing that, but it was back to the audience, his little butt out. Good stuff.
She's
his
like,
pants were tight.
Worth every penny.
I waited 3 goddamn years to see that shit, and it was worth it.
I feel you, bro.
Because for the timeline, for those wondering, I bought those tickets in like 2019 before I was diagnosed with cancer. And then it was supposed to be November 2020. And we were like, all right, I'll be fine by then. It'll be through treatment and be doing all right. I should be feeling okay. Then, 2020 was 2020. And they said, okay, well, now we're going to do it in June of 2021. And then the Delta variant was sweeping the nation. And they said, all right, we got to push her back to my ticket. Like they opened in February, but my tickets were like for March. And then my guy got fucking COVID in January. And I was like, Jesus Christ, I can't do this. But we made it. He performed. It was great. And my dream of seeing him do Marion Librarian on stage, walking all over that library with those long ass legs, came true. I can die happy now. I'm all good.
Respect.
And my number 2 is Gerard Butler.
Okay, so we got a good mix. We got a Scott and Aussie. All right,
yeah.
Cool. We'll go.
I like him tall like that because we one time at work years ago we did like basically your fantasy island with your top 5. Now some people tried to go all intellectual and be like, well, if you trapped on the island with them, I'm like, this is not the personality island we're talking here, where you got to live with them. Although I do think Hugh Jackman and Gerard Butler have fun personalities that you could get along with in the long term. Yeah. No, this island is strictly about fucking.
Yeah.
So with that in mind, Chris, who are your fantasy babes?
None that I would actually masturbate to. I don't have, you know what, honestly, there's okay, very obscure. You only know this if you ever watched the show Luther.
I have not.
Okay, there's this actress, her name is Ruth Wilson. That's all I'm gonna say.
Okay.
That's all I got to say. That's one. Second one. Tracy Ellis Ross.
Oh, ooh, that's good.
Yeah.
She's hot.
Yeah. Dude, since Girlfriends, I was like, that's the woman I'm going to marry if I ever get famous enough to marry a famous person.
Yeah.
And she's single right now, so what's good? All right.
Yeah.
I know I'm not status wise yet, but I got husband dick. Is that good enough?
What the fuck is husband dick?
Oh, you don't know husband dick?
No.
It's a dick that you can have every day. It's not too big and it's not too small. It's just right for whatever fits you, and you can have it every day. Husband dick.
Yeah. Okay.
That's me.
All right.
Just for Tracy, though, not for everybody else. Sorry, guys.
Well, speaking of husband dick, that's who Charlotte is fantasizing about.
Correct.
They say, you know, like
perfect segue.
What a segue.
Goddamn. Perfect.
They say, like, oh, come on, Charlotte, you know, you gotta be fantasizing about someone. And she's like, well, it's Trey. And I wrote down, hell yeah, I would too. Trey is fucking shredded.
I know, right?
When he showed up
for
in the apartment and he's just wearing like boxers and a robe. The dude is still cut as fuck. It was crazy.
Listen, you thought he stopped playing tennis because his wife left? No. Okay,
he played
still
more tennis.
He probably he played more tennis, bro.
He's never been buffered through all this sexual frustration. Everyone at his job is probably like, well, hi, Dr. McDougal. Are you working out more? And he's like, yep, working out a lot. Yep. Don't want to talk about it. It's just in the gym for hours, just pumping weights, being like,
I mean, listen, I've been frustrated, but I've never been that frustrated where I was like in the best shape of my entire life. That's somebody got to show me how to do that because I'm missing.
But I think it's so cute that she fantasizes about Trey.
I did too. I thought the same thing. I was like,
that's a little sweet baby.
Yeah, no, I mean, it sucks that they're going through what they're going through. But also, like, I feel bad for her because like she kind of got to go through it alone because like I don't know, like none of her friends or equipped to like tell her how to really navigate that. And it's like, dang, man, that sucks. Because like all you can do is just sympathize with her and hope that it works out in whatever way makes her happy. That's
because they have like you said, they have no inclination of how to be like, no one's gone through that. Yes. And it is kind of like though Steve said in the last episode, the only ones who really know what's going on between the two of them are the two of them. So you know, it's some
rough waters, baby.
They got it, but they gotta I can't talk. Navigate it, the two of them. I got distracted. I was thinking about Trey. Okay, got distracted. My cut as fuck Scottish doctor. Love it.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, I got a thing for Scotsman. There's no shame in that game. There's some girl on TikTok who up and moved to Scotland, like just totally like restarted her life out of nowhere. And she's like, the dudes are just better here. They're polite, you know, but they are very like accommodating to women. I don't know. She's like, it is a better class of dude here. Ladies, buy your plane ticket now. And I'm like, I might.
I mean, listen, now that we got Zoom and shit, you can work remotely. You could.
Yeah.
Why not?
But anyway,
I guess we could do Miranda's because hers is kind of like
hers was really quick. So her thing at the end, because it all kicks off the whole episode with this engagement party that they're going to that kind of drives other stuff. And so Miranda is like, the guy doesn't remember her name, and like that's their mutual friend, which is embarrassing.
Oh yeah, the Danny guy. Like they all I guess
and they've all apparently like had some form of hookup with him, from kiss to boob flash to hookup to sex. Like,
nice.
Kind of weird, but whatever. There's weird friend groups like that where they're like, we've all boned each other, and I'm like, that's weird.
Honestly, that's not like where I come from. Is I feel like that's happened. It's like always one dude that's like ran through a group of girls, and it's just all right,
no, it happens.
Yeah, it happens. You know, small towns and shit. And they live. They do. Yes, Manhattan's a big New York City. However, it is a small town because we noticed in the last few episodes they keep running into like familiar faces. So clearly, you know, Manhattan's smaller than you think. You know what I mean? So.
But at the party, Miranda goes like full stand-up comic in the crowd.
Yeah, that's what I said. Miranda's type 5. She did. She had like a whole like routine. You know what I mean? Like, she had a drink in her hand and everything. That was like classic fucking, you know, one-liner comedian trope right there.
And she says she did it to like avoid like the pity stuff, which I do kind of agree with. I feel like I was gonna turn it on a little at like stuff. I learned on a lunch walk with all my coworkers. Apparently, I'm the only single one.
Okay.
Oh, except for the one guy on our team. There's one other guy on our team who's single.
They don't count if you're a guy. Guys, most guys want to be single. In socially speaking, like most people think that women don't want to be single. Most people think that men do want to be single. So like it don't count.
No, it's the team I work on is like, I think it's all women except for my boss and the one guy. And my boss is married, and then everybody's coupled up with like long-term partners.
Oh wow!
That they've all had for like super long times, and I'm like, what? Right. Like when I learned that, I was like, wait, am I seriously the only single one on this fucking team? Are you kidding me? Holy shit! Yeah. Oh god.
Which is wild.
I hope a camera light falls on me.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
It's wild. It's wild to be the only single person in a group in LA because you're like, wait, how is that possible?
Also, some of them are younger than me, and that really upsets me.
Well,
not really. And that's part of the thrust of this episode.
I have a theory that most people who are in relationships like came here together. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I
feel like a lot of people moved here like, as they were already together. They moved here, and then it's like now we're a couple. You know? What I'm saying?
Like
that's just my theory.
Well, some of them. I don't know everybody's.
Not all. I don't think it's all. Yeah, I think like most people in relationships here in LA like brought that motherfucker from wherever the fuck they came from with them, and now they're together. Will they last? We don't know, but I think that's why.
But yeah, like, you know, she does it to avoid. Now, I will say at this time, it's definitely was considered like a sad thing to be single at their age and stuff like that. And I get like Miranda's deflection. I think it's less so now. As I think through the pandemic and stuff, honestly, because so many people, some people were able to date and whatnot, but the vast majority of people, you were disconnected, and you really needed to learn to be like okay with you.
Right.
You know, and who you are and what you're doing. And so I think like we're slowly getting better as we are with so many things. But I definitely I also just like to be charming in party settings anyway, and try to win and be friendly with people. I just turn it on. I'm like, what up, everybody? Here's your super charming Midwest Irish pal here to entertain and be cool and fun. Tell your friends about me if you have it.
Yeah, I feel that.
Although none of you motherfuckers do, and I hate every one of you for it. Just kidding.
Well, no, here's the thing: they do have a friend, but you know you don't really want that friend.
But the truth is, I don't want them.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, because it's usually not like they usually, I have somebody to be great for you, and you're like, okay, yeah, sure, and then they bring the person, you're like, okay,
and you're like, really?
Like, I'm not trying to be picky here, but like, fam, you know me, so you should know this ain't me. You feel me? Like, also, I don't think we're friends anymore because what you think that I like, you don't know me. At all. Yeah, I've been there. We've been there. We've all been there. I don't do that. I feel like that's not like a guy thing. I mean, honestly, and I don't even really have that many talks like that until I go back home. Yeah. Then everybody's like married with kids, and then it's like I went out on a date. You're like,
I'm talking to somebody on an app.
It's like, I
and it seems to be going well.
You're right. It's like we don't have anything to talk about anyway. So
and now we got to coordinate meeting at some point.
Right.
I don't know how that's where things seem to tend to fall apart on my not on my end, but just my track record.
Right.
Getting to first contact there, and it's like, fuck.
Yeah, where are you? I don't think I'll ever do the dating apps. That's probably why I'll be perpetually single. Okay, moving.
Anyway,
Moving through. Okay, so we got Miranda. Got her.
And so the follow-up though too
Yes, that's what we're doing. Yes,
is she bumps into another friend like later on the street and is gonna go into her like her tight five. But then is honest about it, and that person's kind of like, oh, but then that person does their like tight five about her relationship and wanting kids and stuff. And Miranda politely laughs and like realizes like, oh, we all kind of do that. And I was like, cool, yeah, everybody puts on a fucking show for everybody. Big reveal, Miranda.
Yeah, no, she's like, yeah, I mean, yeah, everybody has that type five that they do. Yeah. You know, that you know, whatever situation that they're uncomfortable with. Like mine is my career sometimes when people ask like what I'm doing or like you know what I've been up to. Like if I haven't seen them in a while, I was like, haha, well, you know, I've just been like working and like, you know, not get anything, wanting to kill myself, you know.
I open with single, don't know how to mingle.
Right. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
that's true.
So let's get to Carrie, because she's kind of what everything hinges on this episode. So they all go to the engagement party, and then Carrie gets home another day and gets her mail and has like a free application for a dating service that's like find your soulmate. And
also, not to forget, she's turning 35 this week, so she's like freaking out about being 35. Whatever.
I've never freaked out for I am in my 30s, I'm past 35. But I've never been that hung up. Like when I turned 30, I wasn't like, oh my God, my life is over. I haven't done anything because I'm 30. Right. Like I watched Tick Tick Boom, could not relate to his dread at turning 30 and not having like accomplished anything. Actually, my favorite part of the whole movie
that I can understand. I understand.
He does get the like showcase for his frankly dumb sounding musical. Sorry, R.I.P. and all, but it didn't sound very good. He gets that.
Oh my God, dude! Oh my God! Like even the R.I.P. was low-key disrespectful.
Sorry.
Like, fucking place sucks.
It did. It was. Did you watch Tick Tick Boom?
I didn't.
It was called Superbia, and it was like one of those like, man, society is changing for the worse. You know, everything's technology nowadays. Shut up. Anyway. Sorry, I'm so sorry.
Well, we just lost our Tick Tick Boom audience. Thanks,
so sorry. We lost the Andrew Garfield audience and the Tick Tick Boom audience. No, I mean, look, I truly all respect for the creativity thing, but this is why I did end up being kind of okay with the movie, because he's all hung up. He's like, this is the thing that's gonna make me, by the time I'm 30, I have to get it made. And he gets the showcase off for like producers and stuff, and even gets praise from Stephen Sondheim, which is huge. And like, whoa, I can't argue with that. But then it doesn't sell anywhere. And he calls his agent. He's like, why the hell didn't this sell? This is everything. This is my thing. And she's like, yeah, you did it. Now you have to do another thing. And you have to keep doing them until you get something that really can sell. She's like, that musical was never going to go because it's too expensive to produce and a little too esoteric and stuff like that. And I understand it's your passion project, but you got the praise, you got the attention for it. Now you have to do another thing and then another thing. And like, that was to me the best message in the movie. It was not like whatever else people are taking away from it, but like that you have to work, because there's the whole opening song, or one of the opening songs is, you know, it's called 3090, and he's turning 30 in 1990, and it's like they're singing happy birthday, you just want to lay down and die, about like upset that he's turning 30 and stuff like that. And I've just never felt that way, because I was like, you know, and in fairness to him at the time, that was, yes, turning 30 was like, oh no, like get your life together kind of a thing. And it's just so much less so now. And I had good familial support and encouragement that was like, you don't have to like have everything settled in your life by the time you're 30. You have decades to go.
Right. Well, that's the weird thing, is like that like, I don't know if that's how I feel like this show like doesn't really hold up, because like, you know, all these women are in their 30s and they have great lives, like great careers and stuff like that, but like, you know, they don't have a man, and like that's the only thing that's missing, and it makes them like the most miserable.
Yeah. Now, what the way it was presented in this episode was one of the better additions of it, because so Carrie's upset about the soulmate thing and wonders if they even exist, and there's all that kind of stuff. And you know, they do have her birthday party. Samantha organizes it. Oh my god, it's the worst birthday party ever. She gets to the restaurant. She's
first of all, she's the first one
there.
She wasn't even early. You know, she wasn't early. She was definitely not early. One to arrive.
First one to arrive. Then no one shows up, and no one shows up, and then the cake is there, and she has to pay for her own birthday cake, and then she has to walk home because it's just like it's been like an hour or something, like, and no one's there, and this is pre-cell phone, so no one's able to, like, no one's, or everyone else but her has a cell phone,
right? Yeah, like this is they got cell phones. I know Miranda definitely has.
Yeah, they all have like other ways to communicate, and Carrie's still like, I'm too cool for a cell phone. No, you're not. Get a cell phone, as Miranda so aggressively tells her. But she drops her cake on the way home, and when she's like home, she just like goes in the shower and wants to cry. And I get that. I totally get that.
No one showed up to my party. That would hurt, bro. Like that hurt. That would hurt, bro. Yeah, real talk. I started writing very long letters. Like, yeah, somebody gotta pay.
I had like a low turnout after Trump's inauguration. My birthday is inauguration day, January 20th. I had my birthday party like that Saturday. And it was like the mood was off. Like people came, but not a lot. And it was just like, I was like, yeah, I get it. You know what? The vibes are bad.
Yeah.
I know this one's not about me this year. But what do you call it? And then Charlotte gets her to come to coffee with the other girls. And they do, and like I said, they're talking about the soulmate thing, and she says, you know, being at the table and realizing she's 35 and she feels very, very alone. And I get the loneliness part of it, because having I like her. I have great friends. I have friends that like are family, you know, second family, like ride or dies and stuff like that. It is different than having a partner.
Yes.
And I want one. Yes. You know,
I have two questions to ask you, but one I want to say first, thank you for admitting that.
Yeah.
Thank you for admitting that, because for some reason in today's society, it's like so wrong for a woman to admit that, like, yeah, I like having a career, like having friends, but I also want a man. Like it makes you like less of a woman, or like not strong, or some shit like that. Like it makes you like the pariah of society. It's like, it doesn't make you weak to want a man. Like,
yeah, and it's not because I'm like, oh, take care, you know, like, be my sugar daddy or anything like that. It's like, I want, you know, an intimate partner for sexual stuff and personal stuff. It's very different that, you know, there's different emotional needs that get filled by a partner than friends. And it's okay.
It's okay. Like it doesn't make you less of a woman. It doesn't make you like weak or like not strong or like not independent or whatever. Like you good, bro. Like,
yes, I am a strong, independent woman who don't need no man, but I want one.
Like there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, like I just I just always wanted like just like when women actually admit that they want a man, it's like kind of refreshing, because like, you know, most, especially now in society, it's like I feel like more women are like, you know, fuck men, I don't really need him, but it's like, but you can want one too, bro.
Yeah, it's
we're not saying you need us. Like, yes, we like to feel needed, just saying.
Sure, who doesn't?
But like, sure, we like to be needed, but like, we also like women to want us.
Yeah.
It doesn't make you worse, you know?
You know, I think, you know, I get why, like, look, you know, you read about a lot of things, though, it makes you go, wait, do I want one? Like, do I want a guy? Because some of these dudes are not great. And you know, it's hard to find a good one. And I understand the sort of like nihilistic, like, why bother at all? But like, you know, it's there are plenty of ways to find connection, and it does take work, which is I think the bummer part of it is, you know, maybe a lot of us are like kind of wish it would just happen a little faster. Like maybe we all get our own little Trey who has not all of Trey's problems, but like, you know, not a rescue thing either, but like, I don't know, a little sweep off the feet kind of thing, and
Sure.
and fight, and I understand. Like I said, I keep saying partner, and I think that's genuinely a big part of it too. It's not just like wanting, oh man, I want like a part, like a teammate, like because it is I think it goes both ways though too. Like I've talked about it with my therapist. Like I'm tired of taking care of myself all the time. I take care of all my own shit constantly, all the time. Right. I would love if someone that I love was just like, hey, I got this. Because I would do the same for them if they were, because I'm assuming, have also been taking care of their own shit this whole time.
Right.
And want the same thing, where at some point I could go, hey, I got this for you. And they'd be like, thank you. And I'm looking for the same.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
I respect. Yeah. No, it's just refreshing to hear somebody actually say that they want to be with somebody. Yeah. It's like that. It's like everybody just thinks it's cool to be like, I'm by myself. It's like,
yeah.
Okay.
And if that works for you, and you're whatever, like, if
you're truly happy, fine.
Works
that's
for
fine.
You, that's great.
But like, don't like belittle anybody else because you're super independent. Like you want to be alone. Like that's all you. But like you should like women shouldn't like beat each other up for like wanting.
No, not at all. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well,
I said, some men are fucked up, but
wanting an intimate partner.
Yeah.
Is not a weakness. It's a normal human thing.
Yeah.
And it is tricky that a lot of us want one of the opposite sex, and they're not always the greatest or don't always prove themselves to be the greatest.
Right.
So that's fair. I get it, but yeah.
Now the next question I want to ask, because we like this whole episode is kind of talking about this. Do you believe in soulmates?
I don't know. I think I'm kind of where they kind of end up, where it's like, I think it's funny that so now everyone says I found my person, which for some reason I hate that turn of phrase.
Yes.
I think it's really dumb. It's first of all, it's fucking from Grey's Anatomy, and I think that's what really burns my toast about it.
I didn't know that. I didn't watch the show, but
because then everybody's fucking lying that it's always been what they said. Because I'm like, I never heard that phrase before it appeared on Grey's Anatomy, and then 2 years later, everyone's like, so and so is my person. I was like, you just say like soul. To me, I was like, just say soulmate or whatever. Like,
you know why? Yeah, they probably tried. It's like a little clever way because people probably got sick of hearing the word soulmate because it is a toxic idea if you think about it.
Miranda's 100% right.
Yeah, she says it in the episode. I was like, yes, it's a toxic, like really unattainable idea. It's like literally saying, get in the ocean and find a specific drop of water in the ocean. What?
Yeah.
One person out of 7 billion people, I'm gonna find the one person, and they're gonna be in the same state, in the same city, as me.
Yeah. No, for sure. Like, the notion of you need to be completed, which I think is what you were talking about earlier too, where people don't want to admit that, or like not admit it, but make it sound that way. That's totally understandable, and I get that. And then, like I said, Miranda's point of like, you sound incomplete without a soulmate is great. There's actually a little song I heard on TikTok of all places, where I learn and see everything now. But I really liked it, where it was like, I'm not, the part of the chorus of the lyrics is like, I'm not looking for a missing piece, just someone at my back. And I'm like, that's it. That's exactly what I mean. Like, it's a cute little song. And now I can't remember the name of it at all. I will put it in the show notes if I remember to. But yeah, I think that's kind of their point, is like, you're just looking for Miranda in her case is like looking for someone at her back, kind of a thing. Yeah. Charlotte is very, of course, like pro soulmate and everything. Super. And then at the end of the episode, after the birthday dinner, they kind of like say, maybe we could be each other's soulmates. And I think there's something to that.
Yes.
I don't think I believe
nice. That was a nice moment.
Yeah, and that's one of the things. That's one of the like iconic moments about the show, where the friendship really gets highlighted, and they all and people like that moment. And I think that's true because, like, I think friend, like my best friend from back home is a type of soulmate to me. Like, we met in the 2nd grade, and we have been friends to this day. That's a long time. That's almost 30 years.
Yeah,
and it's like, And it's the friendship too, where like she came and visited and stuff, and that was great. But like, let us send TikToks to each other, or the occasional text and stuff like that. And it's and cannot also talk for chunks of time and then pick up right where we left off. I'm like, that's definitely like a soulmate type thing to me, or your person. I think also person, like you said, it's a better PR set because soulmate sounds PC, so
it's fantasy. So it's like so hard. Like that makes it like it's like such a like it's like saying winning the lottery. Basically,
it's abstract. Person is a thing. Right. People exist.
Right.
Souls, do they exist? We don't know. Maybe ask that priest Samantha tried to fuck.
Well, according to him, it is.
And according to him, they definitely do. Yeah. So yeah, I don't think I believe in soulmates in that like kind of traditional like there's one person for me. Yeah. And you know.
Yeah. The only person. It's almost like an arrogant idea too. Like to think that one, you're so like everybody's special in their way. We'll do the shit, but like to be like I'm so special that I'm gonna find the most perfect person for me in the 7 billion people, and like I'm just gonna live this fairy tale life with this perfect person. We're just gonna like it'll just fit. Like no matter like we won't have any annoying traits that we get mad at each other. Like we'll never struggle with anything. Yeah. Like no, that doesn't exist. That's insane.
Yeah, there's another song I like. This one I do remember offhand, by the band The Proclaimers of "I Will Walk 500 Miles" fame. Yes. You know that one. Great band. I really love them. And there's another song they have called "When You're in Love," and it's all about like when you're in love, you don't know much about anything. But part of the lyrics are like 600 million or however 600 million people in the world, and you're saying there's just one, the only one, and you must be together. Like.
Right.
What are the odds? It's sort of cynical but upbeat at the same time. It's like when you're in love, you don't know anything about it. You're out of your mind. It's kind of nice, but like it's also crazy because there's billions of people in the world, and you're saying there's just one, only one for you.
That's insane. It's like the wildest thing. That it's the wildest idea that's like stuck around for centuries. Like
and I mean I love romance novels and stuff, and like half of those when they're not the smutty ones about just fucking a duke or whatever, they do get into like you are my other half, my soulmate, etc. Actually, there was a great book I read. It was fictional. It was like science-y fiction, but it was called The One, I think.
Okay.
And it was someone had narrowed down the genetic code of like a soulmate basically, and could match you genetically with your soulmate. Ooh. And you could put your stuff in a database and be matched with your soulmate. And now of course there's all sorts of complications about there was you're on the opposite side of the world in some cases, like that person also happened to be dying or whatever too, like there was somebody who's in like a coma, there was one where it was the husband and wife and they decided to put it in, and it turned out the husband's match was a guy that was his soulmate. And it was like, what do you do then? Because he had until then never felt that way, but it didn't mean he couldn't. And so there was all these different plot lines going on, and it was a really interesting thing. And there's a lot of twists and turns. It gets a little thriller-y towards the end. Okay. But it was such an intriguing idea because like, what if you were in a couple and you both decide to do it for fun, but then you don't get back the answer you want? Because
you can't do it if you're in a couple. Like you gotta leave that alone. Don't take that test. No, bro.
Because they were in love. They were very much in love.
No matter.
Up until they took that damn test.
Right.
But it was a really interesting premise that like, and it's a quick read. I highly, highly recommend it. It's a great book. Hang on. Now I'm gonna make notes of things that I'm recommending in the show notes on top of all our other things. So I'm gonna say The One, that Proclaimer song, and then the other one I liked that I couldn't remember. Yeah.
So Carrie, we left off for her story. Birthday party. She's sad. Then she gets home. Bunch of voicemails, basically all the girls saying like, "Hey, where are you?"
Yeah.
And then
they get the soulmate combo.
Coffee And then as she's walking home, who does she see?
There's an awful familiar little town car sitting in front of her apartment.
Yeah.
Oh, because we left out, sorry, we skipped over a plot point. Is earlier in the episode when she's waiting by the phone and by the clock, for it to turn midnight. And then she calls Big, who she, for some reason, knows is in London.
Right. Well,
Why
they're still friends. She said she said because she says that
they're friends.
They've had they're friends, man. Like they've like had a couple of phone conversations here and there. She said, because
Samantha's like, do you want to invite him?
Yeah, she kind of planted the idea in Carrie's brain. I don't even think she was even thinking about inviting Big until she said that. Low key, just saying.
Yeah, she's not perfect. Samantha does make the occasional mistake. Yeah. What can you do? Yeah.
Honest mistake.
Because how is she gonna set off all her bullshit again? So Carrie calls him and leaves a super awkward message about like, I'm turning 35 and getting older. You're old. You know what that's like. Anyway, I'm having a birthday dinner.
It was just awkward city, bro. Awkward city.
Although, I mean, I'm not saying we haven't been there, and maybe somebody on this podcast kept inviting a certain situationship fella a couple times to her birthday over Facebook Messenger.
Oh no!
Happens to the best of us. No. Haven't done it in years. Haven't even wished him happy birthday on the old Facebook in years. It's all good. We're past it.
Hey, listen. We've all been there.
We've all done it.
We've all been there. Trust me, I feel you. It sucks when they hit you with the uppercut, and then you learn how to dodge that shit again. You know what I mean?
Whatever he fucking owes me, I got him to the Magic Castle one time.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding. You're like, nah, he doesn't owe you. He doesn't owe you shit. And I'm like, I know.
But yeah.
Anyway.
Fair enough. She left the awkward message. Here's the thing. At least we got it a little easier because like now we can just like type it out. They don't have to hear our voices as we sound so unsure of ourselves. That's humbleness to a third, like another degree, bro. Like,
having to say it.
You hear my voice crack as I was like, no way, bro. Like, I don't even know how we did that growing up. Like, I never, even growing up as a kid, I never left no fucking voicemail on a girl's phone. Even the girls that I knew liked me back, I still didn't leave no voicemail. I was like, you ain't having no evidence of my voice sounding insecure as fuck. Nah, bro.
But so she finds him in the car waiting for her after she has the slightly better birthday coffee situation, because Charlotte says we're each other's soulmates and maybe guys are just someone to have fun with along the way, which is nice. Yes. And then he's there with balloons and champagne. Yes. And she gets in and she jokes about their ages and she's like, how old are you anyway? And then I also went, you don't know how fucking old he is?
That's all I'm saying. Like, hold on, y'all dated for like a whole ass year and you never heard his fucking age? Yeah. If they don't tell you that this ain't the person you need to be with, like, you don't know his age? Yeah. You don't know his age. That is literally first date talk. How old are you? Yeah. Maybe second date if somebody's a little insecure about how well they are. Like, but you dated for a whole last year and you had a secret affair with him. Yeah. And broke up his marriage and you didn't know this motherfucker's age. Yeah. Carrie. Like, that's like, you should hear yourself when you say that and then immediately check yourself into a mental hospital. Like, you need therapy, bro. There's something ain't right there if you think this is your dude. Yeah. Nah. Whatever. Because then he kind of reveals he's probably about 45. And I was like, so they only have like a 10-year age difference and she was acting that freaking nutty the whole time? Right. All right, I guess. And so, she like asks him about soulmates and he's of course doesn't really believe in it. And then he's like, did you have a fabulous day? And she kind of lies. And then she goes home. And then she concludes it with saying, like, having 3 soulmates locked in already makes it easy to spot those great, nice guys to have fun with. I wrote down, bitch, he's not a good guy, though. Like, literally. She's the epitome of, like, dumb bitch. Yo, bro, like, cheat on his wife. But here's the thing. she don't see that as a negative. She sees that as a positive. She's like, I'm
Yeah.
so fucking. She's a fucking narcissist, bro.
Yeah.
Real talk. Like that's why these two are talking together because they both fucking narcissists and they're both sociopaths. She feels like, like she would if you like. If any of those girls would be like, yo, he cheated on his wife with you, why would you want to be with him? She'd be like, because he cheated on his wife with me.
With me.
With me.
Yeah. I'm better than that, bitch he's married to.
Natasha.
And it's like, yeah, I beat Natasha when like Natasha's mind her own fucking business.
Just trying to be happy.
Trying to be happy.
Never did anything to you personally, but of course she sees it as that because she's a fucking narcissist. I don't understand how there are women who still stand by this show. Carrie is the fucking worst, B.
Yeah.
She's the worst. And people out there still talking about, oh, I'm such a Carrie. Then red flag. Red fucking flag.
Red flag.
Sound the alarms, bitch. Sound the alarms.
Yeah.
I gotta get out of here. Eject. No one should want to be Carrie.
No. Why
would you want this? Like, how, like, she erased all the, like, it's like he didn't even do anything that special. He just showed up with balloons and some cheap champagne. And he didn't even get out to get the balloons.
I was gonna say that. Yeah.
To get the balloons.
He didn't.
And she was like, oh, he's so sweet. Bitch.
Raoul's the sweet guy.
Right. You should be in the front with him.
Right. He got some nice balloons for you. The fancy ones with helium in them that you could let go and hit a fucking power line and probably knock the power out in your neighborhood, you dumb broad.
Bro. She ain't it, bro. She ain't it. I don't understand. Like how you that dumb?
Yeah.
Where's your women's intuition? Like where's that?
Gone, baby, gone.
To be honest, she ain't never had it.
No.
She's like, you know what she is? She's a deer in headlights.
Always, yeah.
You know what I mean? But here's the thing: a deer in headlights that's been ran over before. She knows what those lights mean. She knows it means danger. She's remembered the suffering. Like she barely survived that crash, and now she's like, yeah, those lights are pretty though.
Yeah. The next thing you know, your insurance goes up.
Like she's like it's gonna take a Mack truck to hit her for her to learn if she was a deer. Like that's what.
Yeah.
And then by then it'd be too late. Sorry. Just don't understand. Like here's like I'm enjoying watching the show. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying.
Yeah. I know.
I don't understand now watching this how women are like, oh, this is my favorite show.
Yeah. No, it's like
it's almost misogynistic, okay?
It is a lot. In a lot of ways, it is. You have to remember the bulk of the creative team behind it is still men.
Fair enough. That's true.
Like it's created by a guy. It's like directed by a guy. And I know that like she worked. Sarah Jessica Parker worked very closely with him and was a producer on the show and everything. And I know influenced a lot of stuff, but it's still kind of being dominated by a dude.
But maybe here's the thing too.
And some internalized misogyny, I think, on everybody's part, especially at this time period.
Yeah. Well, also too, like maybe this show wasn't supposed to be like a fun sitcom. It was supposed to be like a warning, be like, hey, don't be like this. Like, see what these bitches are doing, the mistakes they're making. Don't do that.
Well, and I think you have to take it also at its like face of being more of a fantasy in a lot of ways, especially as the seasons go on.
That's true.
Like
people like this really exist. Like nobody would be friends with Carrie in real life, but she was an actual person.
Yeah. Like
she had like one or two friends like a year that like, but she would never keep a friend. Like there would be no years relationships develop with a person like this.
Yeah, like the author who this is like loosely inspired by, I think said the show, at the end of the day really isn't all that feminist,
right?
Because her book of articles and stories is much closer to the first season or so, where it's a little more realistic, a little more like just sort of situational. And now as the show's kind of developed and changed, and admittedly for me hit its stride episode wise, this season is another really good one too. Like I said, I liked a lot of episode 3 or season 3, and season 4 has my favorite episode in it. But now they are more characters than like real people. Gotcha. Like I like the show Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, and it's a historical setting and everything. And people complain but it's the more you watch it, the clearer it is that it's sort of just all a heightened kind of fantasy fun version of 1950s New York and things like that. Like Lenny Bruce is a major character or recurring character, and they've only just now finally touched on the fact that he had a drug problem. And we're 4 seasons in.
Right.
And because the first time he appeared, I was like, oh, is he gonna stick around and like the end of this, I don't know if they're gonna go that dark though to get to the point where he dies in real life, because he dies. It's 1960 at the end of this 4th season, and he dies in 1966. Like, shows are just more fantasy. I think people have to accept that. Like,
that's fair.
People bitch about Friends not being realistic. I never thought Friends was supposed to be realistic.
Yeah, me either. No, not at all.
Comedies in particular are, a little more heightened, and sillier things happen. There's there's certainly relatable things through the comedy,
right?
But it's all still fake and fantasy at the end of the day. If you want gritty realism, I guess go to a drama, but then those are all heightened. Do you think Breaking Bad's 100% accurate to what would happen?
I know Walter White would have died the first time he tried to sell drugs. Like, what are you talking about? And Jesse, like, they both would have died that first time. Even if they got to the point where they were trying to sell to like one of the major persons in the hood, like,
it's
at least that meeting would have been death. Like, come on, stop that.
I always like the joke, the Breaking
Bad.
Here's the thing. In Canada joke where he just gets healthcare, and that's the end of the series.
Pretty much. It's like, oh, cool, here's free treatment. There you go. Well, I tell you what, fantasy world. This bitch Carrie is living in a fantasy world. She thinks that Biggs is a nice guy. That's all I'm saying.
For sure.
I don't care if no fucking balloons and champagne is not enough to prove that you're a nice guy, bro.
Yeah.
Nice guys don't cheat on their wives.
Yep.
Facts.
True.
Anyway, tell the people where they can find us, Elizabeth.
Well, they can find us most easily on Instagram's kind of our hiccup. Sorry, I keep hiccuping. I had a lot of soda and cheese right before we started, and that was a bad idea. But they can find us.
Or was it?
I burped into the mic just then. I don't know.
But was it a bad idea? Was it not delicious?
No, I needed a snack.
There you go.
You can find us on Instagram at Show Me What Podcast, and that'll take you to our Twitter and our Facebook and our YouTube. And you can find me on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at Elizabeth Movies.
Yeah.
Chris, where can they find you?
And you can find me at Mack Diddy Combs on all the socials, TikToks, and the Cash Apps.
The socials media. And then, as always, we have the Arlo Australia candle promo code, Show Me Miss, on all caps. And like I said, now that I wrote down the notes mid-show about what I said I would recommend, I'll put those recommendations in the show notes for everybody.
Yes.
And that's it for this one, and we'll see you next time.